to everyone. Well, yeah, hi Dennis from Taiwan, and welcome to all the participants joining from different parts of the world. We're in the different time zones, and we really appreciate you joining in from wherever you are. And as you join in, yes, I can see people introducing yourself. So please go on. For today's session, we will receive zero point 0.5 CCU and 1 RD. And we will post a claim form towards the end of the session to claim your CC units. You have 2 days to fill up the claim form, that is till 27th of April, to make your claims. And participants who are eligible will receive their CCUs by May 5th, 2024. Yeah. So I hope you've made note of this. So welcome to this learning session brought to you by Community of Practice, Team and Group Coaching, ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter. And let me please allow me to introduce to you the hosting team for this session. My name is Kavita Lobo and I'm your host for today. With me, I have in the hosting team, Sagarika Kantaria and Nandini Agaskar. Sagarika and I lead the Community of Practice for Team and Group Coaching for ICF Mumbai Chapter. And we've been hosting, for now it's over a year that we've been hosting programs every quarter. And it's been really an enriching session for us. And with us, we have Nandini helping us with admin and tech. Nandini works very closely with the ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter Management Committee. Few hygiene pointers before we begin. Kindly keep yourself off camera and be on mute. This is to avoid disruption in the transmission that could be caused due to bandwidth issue. During the session, if you have a burning question, please put it in the chat box and Sagarika will share with our speaker or curate them for the Q&A session, which is towards the end of the session. And we will also request all the participants to come on camera for a group photo before we start the Q&A session. We will launch a quick feedback poll after the Q&A segment. For those who wish to claim CCUs for this session, just like what I mentioned some time back, we will post a link in the chat box after the feedback poll. Please use that link to enter your full name as you wish it to appear in your CCU certificate. And also mention your correct email ID for us to post a certificate to you. We also invite you to stay on after the session for 10 minutes for networking and sharing in case we do not exceed the session time. Yes, that's done with all the hygiene. And yes, hello to everybody. I can see Prasad from Bangalore, Rohit from Delhi. We have Erika from US, Srinivasan from Amsterdam, and Roberto from Toronto. Welcome. Yes, we will, Toronto, from Roberto, we will be claiming, we'll be posting the link towards the end, and you can claim your CC units after mentioning your details. So why are we here, right? So let us just get on to the topic straight. Today's topic is holding space in team coaching. A team coach is someone who holds space for the whole team with S as in safety, P as in presence, to raise A as in awareness, offer C, that is choices, and with E as in empathy. The event will offer an opportunity to appreciate the complexity of holding such a space for various emotions, sub-personalities, ego states, and quiet authority as a team coach. Our learning goals for today are: 1, explore the space framework together, demystify a team coach's being and doing required for co-creating safety, maintaining presence, for evoking awareness, and offering choices with empathy. Managing self with a view of holding space for various ego states, emotions, and sub-personalities. Today's expert speaker is none other than Deep Ahuja. She has graciously agreed to share her knowledge and wisdom on team coaching with us. A little bit about Deep. I know Deep for some time, and it's an honor for me to present her here. So Deep Ahuja is a luminary in the realm of coaching and leadership development. She is an ICF MCC and AATC certified team coach, coach educator, coach author, and curator of the book Coaching Mantras and the leadership book Grace, Grit, Gravitas. Her journey extends beyond conventional realms as she pens insights in her reflective journal and poetry book, Deep Insights. With a profound purpose, Deep has dedicated her life to co-creating a space for individuals and teams to believe in themselves, transcending perceived barriers and achieving aspirations. With 20 years of progressive experience, she stands as a beacon in coaching, coach education, and leadership development. Deep has enabled over 250 coaches globally with level 2 certification and mentoring a few on their MCC journey, demonstrating her commitment to elevating the coaching profession. She's a partner in a 23-year-old global leadership development and coaching consultancy called TPC Leadership. As an executive group and team coach, she has facilitated growth for more than 25,000 leaders across diverse sectors and across the world. Let me say that. Get ready to be inspired by her wisdom and insights right away. I'm not going to hold us back. But before that, I would like to share a fun fact about Deep. She is also often applauded as an acronym queen who loves to simplify complex concepts succinctly. And that's exactly what we're going to be, witnessing today. So with no further ado, over to you, Deep. We eagerly are waiting to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Kavita. I'm super humbled to be a part of this wonderful community. And as your punchline goes, your tagline is innovate, co-create, and flourish. I must say that you all stand so true to the tagline. And I think inspiration for institutionalizing the space framework came from our conversation, Kavita, which hails back to December. And I was just reflecting back on my journey as a coach facilitator, and a leadership trainer. And I just, I wondered, how come did I not think of space the way that it struck me in December last year? And it has just unraveled a whole new world for me, and that I'm ready to open and co-create more from what it has become with this wonderful community of wise coaches who are there on the screen, who are there with us today. So as Kavita mentioned, the title of the program today is Holding Space in Team Coaching, Embracing the Team Coaching Adventure. Moving on, I would like to invite you to think of your quality as a coach that you're bringing in this space, and use your name's initials. Let's bring in some creativity, right? Some innovation and co-create some more qualities for ourselves that we stand for. Use your name initials, like I might say deep listener. Okay, so that's one of the coach's quality, starting with my name's initials. And you can either scan the QR code, or I'm putting in the chat the Menti slide link. Please open the link and you'll be able to write. So we give you some time to reflect on this question, and then we present to you what is emerging on the screen. Let me see if I can start to present what has emerged on my screen so far. Awesome. What I'm seeing is beautiful. I'm sure you'll find it beautiful as well. Very enriching qualities, I must say. Just presenting to you in a while. What a rich cohort of coaches we got. Passionate Parinita, mindful, Karuna, listening. Wow, okay. So they even use the name's meaning to bring in the value. Sagarika, I just enjoy these word cloud popping up, right? Just so colorful and rich.
And I like the way you started it. Will create very differently, Deep, as always.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for that encouragement. Yes. Let's co-create. Vigilant vulnerability. Wow, what a coach competency, especially for a team coach. Creating safe space, openness, reliability, neutral. Rachna, radiating empathy. Look at the creativity of our coaches over here. Awesome. Reflection. Pause. Abundance. Masterful presence. Confidentiality. Adhir, active listening, Adhir. Nice. Great. Curiosity. Interesting. So let's see what emerges with these wonderful qualities in the room, in the space today. And as every coach would ask, I must ask you, what would you like to take away from this session? What's your personal objective? So once you have written down, you would be able to see this slide, this question on your Menti, same link. What would you like to take away from this session? What's your personal objective? Kavita, it has transition, no? Yeah, it is coming up. For insights, to understand, to learn about team, reflective inquiry, breakthrough, nuances of team coaching, interesting. Space and coaching. Practical insights, I like that. Different scenarios, reflective inquiry. Dimensions of space. I like how you phrase it, dimensions of space. Deeper understanding. Yes, because most of us are coaching for quite some time and now probably already coaching teams and groups. So maybe deepening the insights together, which I'm sure with the group wisdom, we will deepen the insights. Benefits of holding space. Yeah. Very interesting. Boundarylessness. I'm just curious to know a little bit more about that. Would you like to just share with us what do you mean by boundarylessness? If you can come on the speaker and share. And it's okay. It's all right. I appreciate your choices. So can't hear correctly, right? I can't hear actively. Follow up, understand, awareness, expertise. All right. Insights taking the center stage over there. So we'll appreciate insights coming from both the sides of the screen, right? And from all the dimensions, all the sides. beyondness, meaning of space in teams. Great, great. All right. So by now you would have realized that we'll be communicating in this format a little bit more and very interactive. It's going to be an interactive session. It's going to be two-way road, not one way. So thank you for already starting to participate and warm up for the session through the mentee mode. I would now move on to our presentation. So let's explore what is holding space in your view when you heard this and when you have been holding space for your individual coaches already. Most of us have been holding space. What is holding space? What does it denote for you? What does it mean to you? And anybody can just unmute themselves. We can take 2 or 3 voices in the group right now.
Being there for another person.
Being there for another person. Great, Pari. Okay. Yes, Maheshwari, why don't you go next? Thank you. Pari.
So I personally believe when you talk about holding space, it's
Mhm.
about creating the safe space for the expression.
Wonderful. How beautifully said that. Creating the
Thank
safe
you.
space for the expression. And I see showing unconditional positive regard, Venkatesh says. Erika says tolerance of silence in chat. I'm just reading. Veena says being comfortable with silence. Nutan says nudging by asking right questions. Beautiful. Rohit, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I think it's more to do with also to do with the overall energy that you are kind of exuding that point in time, and the overall conduct of how you're really handling, because it's not one person, it's an entire team or a group of people. So how you overall manage the energies of each and every person, and kind of maintaining the balance and equilibrium there.
Beautiful. Maintaining balance and equilibrium to be noted. Thank you, Rohit. Beautifully said. Preeti says totally allowing the coachee to be. Rachna says creating a safe space that allows for whatever needs to emerge. Focus on the who of the person. A psychological safe space for people to share, being smart with your silence, like EQ is being smart with your emotions. Wow. Next up, let us know whichever we can patent, okay? These are amazing.
Yes, Deep, there are certain hands which are raised.
Yes, Adil, why don't you go? And then Varsha.
Yeah. So it's all about providing that psychological safety and being with the person right during the conversation.
Right. Even the person. Yeah. Beautifully said, Adil. Thank you. Varsha.
For me, it would be coming from a complete neutrality. Just that. Yeah.
Thank you. And with neutrality is the highlight. So I'm inviting the host team, Kavita or Sabo, to probably read rest of the chat comments that I have not been able to include.
Certainly.
Thank
So we
you.
have Naval who says ability to rigorously challenge self-limiting cues. Kanwal says being present in the moment, listening, even the silence. Praveen says non-judgment. And Karuna here said pausing to allow authentic reflection.
How beautifully put together. I think we all can co-author a book on space with these inputs. Okay, so what do you believe makes this important? Who would like to go with that? What do you believe holding space is important in your view? How is holding space important? Yes, Sanjeev, exactly. Attentive listening includes silence, presence.
Right.
What makes holding space important?
While people are responding, I like this as well. Connecting at a heart level, Rachna says.
Dropping down from your head to heart so that they can also come down to the heart level.
Yeah.
And
On this question, we have Naval says, become one with the coachee to enable expression. What makes this important is because spontaneous or free expression, heart-mind coherence. Dexter says, Pradeep says, will enable the coachee to reach higher level of consciousness. Sudha says, space is generally very rare for our clients, and this space helps them to connect with themselves and others.
How beautifully said. Thank you, Sudha. Thank you for that.
Venkatesh says, focusing on the person and not the dilemmas he or she is bringing to the table. Swati shares, for the coaches to feel supported as they do the difficult work within themselves. Preeti says it allows the coachee to share without worrying about being judged. Praveen, I think, is quoting Gregory Peck from The Guns of Navarone, holding space for his skills and culture diverse team in the, okay, he's referring to the movie. Wonderful. Great reference. Yeah. Jeff says, enable freedom of expression, and we can go deeper. Holding means is to remain stayed with the client and the improvement area on which the client gets coaching. A lot coming here. We have enables the coachee to go the deeper and darker side where they may not want to go alone.
Okay. In the world of AI and machine learning, Deepak is saying being humanized and holding space would be invaluable. Indeed. No matter how much AI and machine learning would come, a coach brings in EI and even spiritual intelligence, right? That probably AI and machine learning might not be able to beat in near future. Holding means allowing the coachee to think, allowing people to think and come out with solutions. Awesome, awesome inputs. Enables reflections, Ananda says, to be themselves, allow for the inner being to emerge. I'm just adding inner being there to emerge, Sunanda, to your inner. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. This is so reflective. I think I can spend the whole day just retrospecting and reflecting and introspecting your comments about holding space and how do you believe makes this important. So Deepak Chopra, one of the masters I follow from my spiritual world, he says, holding space is all about allowing the person or growing group to feel what they feel, allowing them to say what they need to say, allowing yourself to be whatever they need you to be right now. Holding space, therefore, isn't controlling anything. It's being fluid, focused, yet having that finesse to expand, let everything that has to emerge, let that emerge. So let's unfold a little bit more. As you mentioned, it cultivates safety, it builds trust, it encourages open communication, and which is in a team coaching environment, sacred. If safety is present, there is trust. And when trust is there, there is open communication, heart to heart, as Kavita said, as most of you said. There can be heart-mind coherence. Once safety has been established, the space has been established. So just sharing a little bit of how space has been around with me since the time I was a team leader. In fact, since the time I'm born in a joint family, 11 people family, and seen my mom holding space for different opinions, differences, and values, and someone has to eat different, someone has to do a different, follow a different passion completely, a different career completely. So having seen my siblings go different ways and yet my mom being able to hold space for all of them so beautifully, so sacredly. And she's been my role model for holding space since childhood. And I started off working pretty early in my life, considering that I had to hold space for family at that point in time. And from there, holding space has been with me, my companion, and what people tell me as a team leader, how I was in 2007 for a group of people, and how that supported me to then support them with their learning and development journeys, become a team coach for them, become a team coach trainer for the organization, and thereon to establish myself as an individual executive coach, hold space for leaders of various age groups, somebody who's almost sometimes at some point in time, they were even double my age. So holding space, that sacred space just allowed me to let anything that has to emerge in the process to emerge for them, just trusting my potential, their potential, and trusting the process. Everything just happened in a flow. And that's what I've been told by leaders who are in their superannuation, who I coach, executive coaches, teams, HOD teams that I coach. So that's what they appreciate the most, that safety, presence, awareness, enabling of choices, and the empathy, the compassion that we hold for each one of them is something that allows more to emerge, more productivity, more performance, more potential to emerge, and more possibilities to emerge for a team, for a group of people, leaders that we facilitate, etc. So space is relevant everywhere, but in the context of team coaching, we'll be exploring a little bit more today. Mahi, I see your hand raised there. Anything that's emerging for you?
Deep, just sorry to interrupt you here.
Yes.
Are you using a presentation deck right now?
Yes. Are you able to see it or not?
No, because I don't know about others, but I'm just able to see the mentee screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for bringing it to my awareness. I didn't know. Sago, even for you, it was only the mentee slide?
Yes, it was showing only the mentee slide. Yeah.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Mahi, for raising
Wow.
our hand. Yeah.
So now we say we are witnessing the beautiful visuals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, now we can see.
Thank
Okay,
you.
if you could just take back to the quote by
Deepak Chopra. Yeah.
Deepak Chopra. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
See, we missed so much of it.
Actually, you won't be missing so much of it if you could hear me. And now Kavita and Sago's team would share the deck
Deck.
with you. Yeah.
Okay,
For
then
your
it's perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we can just all be present here, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to co-create this space. And you will be receiving this as a gift from our side. Yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you.
Welcome. So, yeah. So as a team coach, what's our role to, who are we for safety? We are the safety cultivators. Okay. So for safety, cultivating trust and safety, as you initiate working with any team, what strategies do you use? How do you cultivate trust and safety as you initiate working with teams? The answers can go in the mentee slide in the interest of time, because we have to cover all dimensions of space together today in next 60 minutes, it seems. So I'm going to put in the chat once again the mentee slide link. Mahi, anything further you want to add? And Sunil, while people are putting up, publishing their responses, how do you cultivate trust and safety? Okay, I think Sunil, your hand is raised, so we'll take your response. Sunil, you're on mute just in case. Yeah. Sagu is inviting us to put our questions in the chat if possible, so that we can all answer it towards the end of the session. And she has gracefully agreed to collate all the questions for us. Okay. I am going to the mentee slide, and let me know if I don't come back to the slide deck, so you can pinpoint that. How do you
Deep,
cultivate trust and safety? I've transitioned the slide now. You'll be able to see.
Deep, I am going, when I'm using this menti.com,
Yes.
it is taking me to the first question, not the one that you've asked just now.
Sure. Can you refresh it, Preeti? It shall now emerge. I'm seeing answers on that slide now. It shall show up for you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for asking. Okay. What else? Keep going. Let's keep going. Listening being the highlight. Each voice is heard. Non-judgment. Share our vulnerability. Deep understanding. Valuing each member. Setting intention. Empathy. Acknowledging wins. Confidentiality. Yeah. Avoiding blame culture. Yeah. Encouraging ownership, avoiding blame culture. Setting intention is so important. Yes. Listening loudly. Interesting. Listening actively. Beautiful. Dexter.
There are some on the chat.
Yes,
So Dexter writes, spotlight on Kochi. Don't project yourself. Srinivasan writes, ensures all voices are heard. And Preeti, building rapport and valuing each participant's views.
Beautiful. Yeah. Non-judging, admiring imperfection, celebrating mistakes and failures. Very interesting inputs. Yeah. And if you were to think of some strategies that encompasses all of this to initiate the intervention with the team, brings up these unsaid assumptions that allows the space to hold all these truths. What could be some of those strategies as well? Can anybody think? Yeah. Great. Okay.
Yeah, Sanjeev says acceptance. Rachna says create space for vulnerability, allowing all to express themselves authentically. That's Rohit. And Minal says pause. Erica says being genuinely curious.
Being genuinely curious.
Preeti says bringing presence. Yeah, and yes, being here and now, as Deepak says. Sharing your own vulnerable moments, welcome diversity, being present and curiosity. Lovely shares coming here. A lot of strategies here. Goal alignment, respecting each other's values, childlike curiosity.
Beautiful.
Not losing the mental objective of the session. Learn from each other's vulnerability. Don't compare or compete. Okay, that I was wondering what it was, Rohit. Not losing the eventual objective of the session. Yes.
Sorry, that was a clerical error.
I understand. Sometimes technology fails us. Right. Individual and group behaviors to embrace.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of strategies coming from the group that's present here. Sudha is asking the team to share how they came to become who they are today, like sharing a personal history which will help them connect and know each other outside work. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Offering observations. Yes, Sonia says.
Beautiful. Great. And some of it that we've already covered today, like we started up with an icebreaker, a check-in with each other, right? We invited each other's qualities to emerge in this space. What are we bringing to the table today? And then we went on, what is it that you want to take away from the session? So that itself is about building that safety and, showcasing the similarities, commonalities that we all possess, and finding each other's greatness, right? So that's how we start to build safety. And one of the ways that as a team coach, we can help build safety is through a team contract. Now, the team contract can have the aspects of being, aspects of doing, aspects of having, right? Two aspects we already covered today as well. The qualities of being, and what is it that you want to take away, have, right? And the doing, which is the behavioral agreement, we can co-create, right? How would you like to behave? What would you like to do? So whatever we are doing, this is our culture of the session itself. Like interaction is a culture right now, what's happening. It's a two-way communication happening. So it's already non-contracted contract is in place, right? A psychological contract is in place. How do we institutionalize a contract in our 100 hours team coaching ACTC program that we deliver? We bring in Team Alliance for you to create the culture, help the team, support the team to create the culture, build co-responsibility, create co-responsibility and behavioral agreements. This is amended and adapted from ORSC, which really stresses upon working with each other, one member in relationship with another, and team coach in relationship with the whole system, the stakeholder system, and the team system. So it clarifies a lot of ground there and builds as an anchor for the whole intervention that you can keep going back to. This is something that we set. And those of you who you have gone through a coach training also or coaching with us, you would know that, we build a learning contract in the beginning of our program and we keep going back to it on every class, on every session. We go back to the learning contract to see, okay, how are we being? What are we doing? Are the behavioral agreements in place? Anything that we want to bring in this space to feel safe, feel more vulnerable, feel more inclusive. So that's how you can utilize a team alliance, a team contract throughout the intervention, right? Number of sessions that you're going to do with the client in your midterm review, in your end term review. So co-create this in the very first team session, with your team members that you're going to coach. Right? And there can be multiple, if it is in person, there can be multiple ways that you can do on flip charts, on facilitators know the walls, right? The sticky walls, they can put sticky walls with 3 segments and get people to put their sticky notes, etc. So you can choose to do however you would like to do in the space that you wish to build, whether in person or on virtual basis. Virtually, you can use Jamboard, you can use Mural, you can use, just a whiteboard with these 3 segments on it, getting people to populate. How are they going to keep each other accountable, manage conflicts, etc., throughout the journey. So these questions can support you. This is going to come to you. So I won't stress a lot on this and move to how ICF also validates, our understanding about cultivating trust and safety. Whatever you mentioned in the chat, whatever you mentioned on the mentee slide, you can see my slide deck, right? Everyone can see my slide deck. Yeah. So that's all highlighted. And the team contract help you develop, maintain, and reflect on team rules, team norms, and promoting transparency, vulnerability, supporting and empathy, etc. So whatever you see on the screen on the left-hand side are your individual core competencies by ICF, which is the blue jigsaw puzzle piece, and the orange jigsaw puzzle piece is about plus, what is a team coach required? What does a team coach need to add in the individual competencies, okay? So that's how the 2 pieces of the jigsaw are coming together. So some things that you're already practicing, which is a great news, congratulations. You just need to, do the same considering the team as whole. Whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So working with the whole as one common identity and building that safe space for them. So moving on to the second dimension, something is there in the chat, Kavita. Anything that needs attention right now for us? Yeah.
No,
That's a question we can answer towards the end.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Abo. Okay. So now, as a team coach, for maintaining presence, we are the presence keeper. We are the guardians also, right? Within which we have to keep presence for ourselves, and not only for ourselves, but also encourage presence in the whole team. So how do you maintain presence during intense moments? What are your strategies to keep yourself centered? Right? And on the screen, if you would see on the right, I've used a metaphor of lighthouse. Anybody can build upon why lighthouse as a metaphor resonates with being a guardian of presence keeper. Yes, Mahi.
So, when you spoke about the lighthouse, okay. So as a coach, I would see myself as a light, although being far off, but present.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And anybody can reach to me. And I stand tall as a guiding light. So that's what I see as a metaphor. And then, beautiful aspect is if you see, the people are so close to this lighthouse. So the picture itself says a lot about being the guiding light, that, you're already connected. You are just near.
Yeah. Beautifully pointed out. A good spotlight on the lighthouse itself. Mahi.
Thanks, Deep.
Kamal?
Yeah. So for me, lighthouse is a larger than life goal, my purpose. I'm always looking at that. So whether it's a coaching conversation or any other conversation, so that keeps me grounded, anchored with the larger things, not this temporarily intense moment.
Beautiful.
It's a lighthouse for me.
Thank you. Thank you, Kamal. So being unwavered. Alpesh says, lighthouse stands tall, remaining steadfast despite any conditions, be it storms or otherwise, staying centered in the storm. I'm getting Alpesh beautifully said. Once you're where you are, may crash your coach boat. Shows the way like a beacon, provides a sense of safety. Beautiful. So that's the question in the mentee slide, that how do you maintain your presence during intense moments, during storms, right? And we all are aware teams can have unsaid assumptions underplaying under the surface, right? On the tip of the iceberg, there can be multiple events that they are holding on to that need to be resolved, to be transformed. So what are your strategies to keep yourself centered and not get wavered and stay grounded as a lighthouse? How do you stay centered? So let's see what's coming up on the mentee slide. What are your strategies? Be available, be a listener, pause, breathe, gentle silence. All of this is coming up. Let me put it on the screen. And in the interest of time, we'll be moving a little bit quicker. I'm getting an intimation from our host.
Kavita. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Being self, being present, being kind, kindness towards self and others, probably. What is 20-20-20? I'm curious. Breathe, be present. Somatic awareness. Yeah, how you feel and what you're feeling. The embodied experience, right? Awareness, gentle silence, being grounded. Beautiful. Unconditional positive regard. Oh, yes. For self and the team. Unconditional positive regard for the team, for each one, each part of the team, each person in the team, each stakeholder. Beautiful. Okay. So In the interest of time, keep adding, because all of this is going to come back to you as the harvest from this space. So keep adding to that.
So on the chat,
yes, Sago.
Rituals like deep breathing, stated by Prasad. Then Erica says, remind myself it isn't about me. Silence, Srinivasan. Breathe, Frederick mentioned. And Srinivasan Subramanian, let emotions play out. Mithun says, keep calm. Srinivasan says, don't try to diffuse tension. Oh, there's an explanation on 20-20-20 is a technique I came across as a centric practice. Every 20 minutes, step away for 20 seconds and look at something at least 20 feet away.
Okay, good exercise.
Nice.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thanks, Sago. Yeah, and I concur with all of you. And I suggest that when you breathe, pause, and reflect, you bring clarity to chaos and direction to act. So your breath is really your lighthouse for yourself, and that enables others also to move from the limbic brain to prefrontal cortex, our executive brain, and think through generatively, creatively, effectively, than being hijacked by fight, flight, or freeze syndromes, right? So how do we support others? We can also bring in those mindful moments for the coaches in the team. We can also bring in that. And to train our brain to keep our emotions, at bay and stay present with the client, all of these practices. And with team coaching on the right-hand side, as I said, right-hand side is the ICF team coaching competency. Left is already that you're practicing. They suggest that you have a co-coach. Why? So that you can step back, move out, reflect on various dynamics, the emotions, the transactions that are playing up, the dynamics that are going on. So being aware and present to various sub-personalities that are emerging in this space and not being impacted by all of that, yet being able to acknowledge that they are there and being able to hypothesize, offer assumption, offer hypothesis for the team to explore just out of curiosity. And hypothesis can be right or wrong. It's a theory. So how do we enable dialogue based on our presence? Okay, A as in for a team coach, it's our responsibility to build awareness, to raise awareness. So we are an awareness builder as well. So what strategies do you currently use? Could you use to raise awareness for a team? What do you currently use? Probably they can be extrapolated for a teamwork as well, for a team coaching work as well. So please put in the mentee slide again, putting the link in the chat for us. Debussy says, be complete with my own thoughts, drop every other thought and be a clean canvas of creation. Debussy, you are an artist. Okay. Let's see what is emerging on the mentee slide. Moving on, transitioning the slide to strategies. Do you currently use, would you use to raise awareness? What strategies could you use to raise awareness? Let's see what's popping up. Look for words not being sure what you mean by that. Can you put the clarification in chat for us? Look for words not being present, create dual awareness. Okay. What other strategies do you already use? And could you use acknowledgement? Okay. Ask reflective questions, Nidhi says. Sharing observations, asking questions, Sudha says in chat. Okay. Look for unspoken words. Facts versus stories. Okay. Check feelings. Yeah. Tap into feelings. Don't keep it at a fact level, factual level. Move down the ladder to feelings under the iceberg. Paraphrase, facts versus stories. Ask to rate self, yeah. Okay, so scaling questions. Ask for permission and share observations. Siddhi beautifully said, observe and share. Aruna says, okay. Paraphrase, change in breath. Facts versus stories. Check energy levels. Beautiful. Observe energy shifts. Silence can also raise awareness. Leverage attention and intention to enhance awareness. Non-verbal cues, Pradeep says, use appreciative inquiry. Rohit, that's a great strategy, Rohit. Appreciative inquiry of the 4D matrix, right? The 4D framework. Discover, dream, design, destiny. We can all do that to enable what has worked, enable to raise awareness about what has already worked in the team and what are they dreaming to achieve and how could we co-design a plan and collaborate on the plan and what's the destiny, what are the action steps, how can we make it a, how can we materialize the plans. Beautiful. So in the interest of time, I'm moving ahead, but thank you so much for your contributions on that. Just pushing the pause button and checking in. How is this all serving? Is this aligned to your expectations? Shall I go slow, fast? Anything that's emerging for you, you can please put in the chat. So just sharing one of the tools that we also use in team coaching, also one-on-one coaching, you would be using perceptual positioning. How this helped raise awareness for one of our clients in the last team coaching intervention, latest team coaching intervention. In fact, that's going on, wherein they were all talking about the CXO leader, one particular CXO leader. And the team unknowingly was getting into the blame, excuse zone. Unknowingly, the attention was going in that direction. So we thought that and we worked with co-coaches in our team coaching interventions. So we thought that to bring in the coach, CXO in the room imaginatively, we brought in an empty chair, put the CEO, CXO there on that chair and invited them to have a conversation and just play how are they feeling and trying to embody the feelings, thoughts, and actions of the CXO themselves and then taking a round robin in circle really enable them to shift their perspective, make meaning of what's going on in the real dynamics. And then we just raise their awareness, saying, asking them, so what's really happening? And where are they coming from? Where are you going from? Etc. etc. And then, therefore, what's in our control? What can you influence? What do you need to accept and act? Such kind of questions, after having a tool or technique placed in, can really support team coaching, awareness for the team in team coaching. And you can use visualization, vision boarding, so many other tools, right, available there. So you can use all these for raising awareness. And somebody said in the group, they can use appreciative inquiry. That can be a beautiful process for a team, even if it is done silently. You can even do a silent coaching, or you can, if you are in real time, you can actually put flip charts with appreciative framework, the 4D framework, and get them to discover, dream, design, create the destiny together. So this is what ICF also says, right? Using questions, using other techniques to foster team development. Share observations, Siddhi mentioned, and most of you mentioned sharing observations, insights, feelings, behavior, thinking, or emotion, tapping into somatic awareness, etc. Moving beyond the words, but the intent, the values, needs, wants, beliefs, So going down from the tip of the iceberg to the beyond surface, right? To under the iceberg, what's happening. So see, as for team coach, we say that you enable choices. You're a choice enabler. So how do you enable choices and let the team take the ownership? How do you enable choices and let the team take the ownership? We're just left with two dimensions. One is choice, and the last one is empathy. So thank you so much for your courage and your contribution so far. In the on the Mentimeter slide, you can share. Okay, let me just stop sharing this and toggle between the slide to take you there and see what's emerging. Transitioning now, you can start to put your comments on the same Menti link. How do you enable choices and let the team take the ownership? What are some of your strategies of enabling choices? Srinivas, we are looking at your screen somehow. That's great. Are you trying to help us? Yeah, but I think I can't display my screen. Let me see. Ask what if questions. Ask their priority and then commitment. Setting the priorities, being buddy, asking awareness questions. Okay, what else? What else? What they would advise their kids and what they would expect from them. Invite reflection and enable feedback while anchored to the intention, reminding them of session goal. Yes, asking them to evaluate options. Okay. How does their action impact their stakeholders? Beautiful. So systemic stakeholder awareness. Beautiful. Empowering team and urging them to be fine with choice, outcomes, correlations. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Great. So keep putting there, you're populating your choices, your choice of answer. Because those are going to come back to you as a repository as well. You can see my screen of choice enabler. Sago, my
Yes.
PPT
Yes.
enabled. Okay.
Yes, it's visible.
Great. So one of the tools that I'm going to leave you with is Kita. I really enjoy this tool for brainstorming with teams going through some conflict, challenge, an opportunity area, anything that is emerging in the conversation, then we can quickly bring them to brainstorm. What do they need to keep in the process while they are discussing about any process or any new innovation, anything that's going on for the team that's true for them in their context. You can bring in keep, improve, drop, add as a process, get them to just brainstorm on these. What are the things that are going well? What can we do better, right? Improve on what made things difficult. So retrospecting on the history, not letting go of what has been existing. So they are also acknowledging the history and what could we have done without so that they don't repeat, and then add what should the team start doing. It would be awesome if we have dash, dash, dash. So that's the dream stage of AI, appreciative inquiry. So that this also actually incorporates appreciative inquiry principles as well. So this helps in enabling choices, right? This kind of a technique can help in enabling choices. I'm sure there are so many group process facilitators also in the room. They could be using in the facilitation work that they can bring in the team coaching work as well, some of the processes. So this probably we don't have time to experience, but this is about setting intention and looking at the potential, what is emerging, than what is the problem, what is happening right now. They could be fixed with fixated with what's the problem. But we as team coaches need to look at the potential, as Dexter also mentioned in the chat. He said, look at the potential of the coachee. They might be bringing the problem, right? And it's okay to acknowledge what is, but what's emerging as a bifocal vision for us as coaches. There's an experiential activity that we engage in our team coaching program around this, which takes about 15 minutes to debrief, which we don't have right now to experience. But yeah, that's the whole crux. Setting the right intention, knowing the person, the team has potential together, and that the process will help them navigate and holding that liminal space, right? The threshold from where they are to where they can be, right? Always in our mental space. Mahi, we heard you. Thank you. Okay. So how do we maintain our presence? How do we let them have their own choices? How do we not get in their way? Because we can be very tempted. We can feel like, oh, we are the part of the team. No, we have to work with their objectives and, help them achieve their objectives. And we can fiddle with the caterpillar while it is meaning to go through the struggle. We can own the struggle on our shoulders and try to fiddle with that and not let it fly as a butterfly. So how do we help ourselves stay away from their purpose, yet being attached to the agenda of the whole team coaching intervention, right? Without putting the spotlight on yourself. So spending time with yourself, I'm sure most of you said journaling. Sometimes it really helps to give yourself some space, physical space, music, etc., etc. So stay grounded as much as possible so that the choices for them are not contaminated by your opinions, by your leading questions. Your hypotheses are all right. To be refrained from going, oh, this is the only way. To refrain ourselves from saying, this is the only way, and allowing them to come up with various ways, believing in their potential. So holding space is also about the coaching mindset. When we are curious, when we are offering choices, as you say, on the left-hand side, as an individual coach, you're offering choices to the client by staying in your coaching mindset. You're not fiddling with the boundaries of a coach. You're not going to counseling, or you're not going to mentoring. You're staying in your dharma of being a coach. So how do you do that? How do you embody coaching mindset? With team coaching, I as a team coach always go for coaching supervision as well as a support, because it is a complex adventure to embrace, and to be able to surf on those waves effectively and efficiently as an efficient surfer. I would say everybody shall go for coaching supervision and not bargain on that. Don't bargain on that, because in other ways, things will start to transfer, and there can be a lot of contamination and, direction that you don't want to bring. You want them to be guided by themselves. You're there as a catalyst. So staying aware of the team dynamics and patterns also is important. So that's how it is interrelated with enabling choices, interrelated with embodying coaching mindset. Okay. E, as an empathy and as a team coach, we are becoming an empathetic listener. So my question to everyone is, who do you listen to? What do you listen to? How do you listen? How do you listen? So the question is in the mentee slide as well. I'm transitioning. What do you listen to? Who do you listen to? How do you listen? Okay, let's see what's emerging. Listening to the verbal and the non-verbal. Beautiful. Said, unsaid reuse. Wow. Participants said and unsaid. Listening with the heart. What is said and not said? Okay. Listen for pauses. Listen for reluctance. Nice, Dexter. Yeah. Oscar Trimboli, How to Listen, is a beautiful podcast as well. Yeah, thanks, Pari.
Welcome.
Yeah. Body.com also has, I believe, a questionnaire which talks about what interferences come in our potential of listening. Pause, listen to the team, listen to the silence, listen for being, change in tone, breath. Wow. Listen to spoken, pause, what is said. Team members' needs, feelings behind the words. What's the intent behind the content that is emerging, right? Yeah, not just the content, but also the intent behind the words. Okay, so it's been some time that we've been sitting. Time to shift some gears. Those who can just come on camera, please be on camera. Let's have at least one screen on camera. A very quick exercise that we'll engage in. Thank you, Venkatesh. Thanks, Pallavi. Thanks, Mrinal. Khalid, Preeti, Pallavi, Dexter. Beautiful, Adir, Varsha. Thank you. Okay, so time for some fun. Okay, we'll all follow the leader is the activity name. Okay, follow the leader. So do as I say. Yeah, do as I say. Pallavi, it seems like I hope you're not driving. Yeah, perfect. Okay, then you can follow the leader. Great. All right. Clap your hands. Tap your foot. Touch your cheek. Clap your hands faster. Tap your foot. Touch your cheek. Clap your hands. Tap your foot. Touch your cheek. What's the laughter about, Mrinal? Share with us. Why did you laugh?
So I got conditioned to tapping my cheek and not the nose.
Right? Exactly. There was some conditioning happening. What else? What else just happened in the meeting?
You said, do as I say.
Exactly, Anuj. And what did we do?
Well, some of us did do as I do instead of do as I say.
Exactly. Exactly. Isn't it? Right. So the crux of this exercise really lies in visuals speak louder than words. So are we listening for visuals? Are we speaking? What are we speaking with our visuals? What are we communicating as coaches with our visuals? Because people follow what you do, not what you say. So what are we embodying as a coach in our own body language and presenting? All the time, our body language is speaking something. One, two, people follow what you do, not what you say. And are we listening to the visuals because they are the primary source of communication? Are we listening to behind the visuals, the vocal, the tone of voice that they are presenting an issue or they are bringing in some opinion on table? So are we listening to their visual and to their vocal? And there is a research by most of our facilitators would know here, Albert Mehrabian. He said 55% of communication happens through body movements, face, arms, gesture, and only 7% through words. And are we just paraphrasing the words for our coaches? Are we just paraphrasing the words? Then we are not listening enough. Are we just questioning about the words that they are saying? Then we are not listening enough. Then we're not empathizing with the tone and energy shift in their voice. And how I have extrapolated from his wisdom, Albert Mehrabian wisdom, to 4 V's that I have brought in. The 4th V with visual, vocal, and verbal that I believe is vibe, which is always prevalent. It is said, unsaid, always there in everything people are doing and being and wanting to have. It tells about their values. Are we questioning? Are we listening to the values that they're bringing on the table? Are we appreciating the values that are coming on the table, which are not being said, but you can see? Can you see the intent behind the content? I as in intent. B as in beliefs. Can you hear the beliefs that are emerging in the space? Can you connect with the energies that are happening, that are co-creating the space itself, and emotions that are emerging in the space? Are we listening to all of that? So how does it relate with ICF competency of active listening, empathetic listening? On the left, you are already practicing the individual coaching competencies, listening to the context, identity, environment, beliefs, values. Here, you bring in, as a team coach, you bring in members' views and their team dialogue, noticing their verbal, non-verbal, as you mentioned, modeling confident, effective communication, quite authority also, a little bit of authority of moving out and just presenting what you listen to as a hypothesis, so that there is, and that you noticed. Your sensing is so important as a team coach. It is worth, I don't know, as many dollars a client can give you. It's really valuable. You're sensing that an AI tool will never be able to get. A machine learning tool will never be able to get. So please appreciate what you're feeling somatically in your body and bring to the surface how are you sensing the vibes, not just the visual, vocal, and verbal in the team. Okay, with permission from Kavita, I can move on to the last set, which is a bonus gift for all of you, if she allows me. It's the ideas framework that you can use anywhere, individual or team coaching. Kavita, if I'm allowed, I'll move ahead. Otherwise, I'll pause.
So certainly we'll have to ask the people on this session today whether they'll be able to stay back for another 5-10 minutes so that they can enjoy this bonus that you're offering them. Meanwhile, who cannot, we have posted the CCU link on the chat window. Kindly click on the link for you to claim the CCU for this session. Yeah.
Thank you, Kavita, for that announcement.
Yes.
So do I take that as a yes? That I can...
Oh, no, we're waiting for the group to give us some consensus so that...
Mrinal says, let's go for it. Deepak says, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we got a lot of yeses here. Okay, with like popular vote, let's hear from you and enrich us with your gift.
Thank you, Kavita, for that permission and that acknowledgement from everybody. Really appreciate. So here is a gift. You can use this framework of ideas for whatever has emerged in the space to be institutionalized, to be taken away, just like you're going to take away some ideas from this space. We give you maybe a minute to reflect on your insights that have emerged for you through this session so that you really embody the experience, how you connect the dots and bring up insights on the paper. Which direction could you utilize this insight? And what emotions are you experiencing in your body, thinking about this direction, thinking about this insight? What actions are you committing to take, having gone through this experience? What and whose support do you need to sustain your learning, to sustain and apply your insights into action? What and whose support do you need? So that's the ideas framework, and we'll let you know with which competency of ICF, core competency, does this resonate with. You can start to think about it, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. Give you 1 minute of silence. I just pause. Whenever you feel ready, you can start to publish your responses in the Menti slide so that we can accumulate the gems that have emerged. Let's see what is coming up. You can share insight, direction, emotion, anything, or all of it, depending upon. Being the lighthouse, safe space, dynamic, holding space, enriched. Thank you. Mental agility. Energized. Thank you. Okay. Some ideas are also coming up in the chat, it seems, Kavita. Is it? Okay.
Yes, beautiful overview by Srinivasan Subramanian. Nidhi says, action setting the intention for holding space for team coaching.
Thanks, Abu. Okay. Holding space for team coaching. Yeah. Beautiful. Ready to apply tools. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Please keep publishing, keep furnishing this light. Thank you so much, everybody, for your appreciations. Yeah, it just fills me with more gratitude towards my mentors and coaches who come on the journey to grow me in this process of enabling more. So thank you. Moving on to the last bit, which is my wish for you. And this poem emerged in our latest team coaching cohort while we were standing next to a statue who holds a flame in the School of Ancient Wisdom at Bangalore. And while we were just standing there and connecting ourselves with the nature and how we're all one in the nature and how expanding ourselves expands this space for everything around us, everyone around us. So it just emerged for me. May the flame within you keep your passion, purpose, and potential alive, so that the space you hold enable everyone in it to thrive. Your sheer presence makes the whole difference as collective consciousness gives birth to new emergence. It's like air in the atmosphere. One might not spot it, but none can live without it. So your curiosity spins the wheel of commerce by raising awareness, even when you cater to one team at a time. With new perspectives and fresh choices, gradually an entire nation rises. Cultivating collaboration, navigating through conflicts, being courageous in crisis, producing ideas through innovation. To bring clarity in ambiguity, in chaos, you choose to pause with empathy, embracing oneness, including diversity, enhancing performance and possibility, ultimately uplifting the whole humanity. So thank you so much for coming on this. I would call it a spiritual path more than it is really sacred as a space that we hold for others to grow through, not just go through. So thank you, Kavita, for holding the space, Sagarika for holding the space.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deep, for your generosity. I think that's the first word comes up for me, when what I'm experienced in last, say, about a little over an hour. So brilliant, well done, and fantastic learning experience. So
has been
with everyone's permission, the first thing, let's do my favorite part, which is clicking group picture. I request everybody to come on camera. We have Nandini who's going to click our picture. Please quickly come on camera. Don't leave without giving us your gorgeous smile. And this is important for us at ICF Mumbai chapter to to bring this together. I love the word collective harvest that Deep shared some time back. This is a testimony of collective harvest. So please come on camera. And Nandini, can we start? So we have the first frame. Let's all say cheese and smile. Okay, Nandini, tell us next. One more. We have many tiles actually going. Yeah. One more.
Please hold on.
Okay. Don't stop smiling, is what Nandini is saying.
Yes, keep smiling.
Such a beautiful
Another
frame.
Yeah. Endless wisdom.
Done.
I think this is called boundarylessness. I think I got my answer. This is called boundarylessness.
Yeah.
Infinite wisdom flowing.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So
now let us
launching
move to
the poll. Kavita, can we launch the poll?
Yes. Let's please. We launched the poll. So as soon as while Nandini is launching the poll. I request Sagarika to please share the questions that you have collected and and curated. And I also request anybody else who had a question that you would like to ask Deep. This is your time. And while everybody is right now giving their feedback, Sagarika, how about asking a couple of other questions that I think came up sometime back?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deep and Kavita, for holding the space for all of us and making it so participative. Really, and it is really a great learning experience for all of us. So I could see only 2 questions on the chat. I think it's important for us to answer this.
Yeah.
The first question comes from Praveen Sinha. He says that how do you develop perceptual ability, skill to adjust focus from a single individual emotional cues to the broader pattern of shared collective emotional cues?
Beautiful. How can I address the person who is asking the question?
Praveen
Okay.
Sinha, yeah.
Praveen, Mr. Sinha, yeah. I think he has this knack of asking very complex questions beautifully, gracefully. So I'll try and do my best in answering, although I can reach out to you and connect one-on-one as well as I develop more understanding around it, what you really wanted to understand. So if I understand it correctly, you're saying, how do we learn from an individual emotional cue and look at the pattern, start to notice the pattern for the whole team that's starting to emerge? Is that what you're saying? How do we develop the knack of sensing the emotions and the patterns underneath? Praveen, so you are on mute. You're on mute. You're trying to say, I can see.
Yeah.
Yes.
1 minute. Yes. Yes, what you said, that could be another angle that did not come into my mind. Exactly what I meant and what we experienced, that in a group meeting, especially when we were doing the business transformation, which is very intense in a complex time frame. So what happens that some individual become the focus in a group. There is a chance that we will be swayed by that. It could be emotional or factual. That's a different thing altogether. Then how do we bring back to the group emotion so that there is a collective decision taken and everyone is driven towards that? That was my view, but I think you also brought another angle. Please answer both if you can.
Thank you so much for asking the question. So yes, it is very much possible in a group, in a team setup especially, to have power dynamics, power of all sorts, power of designation, power of expression. So some people can really articulate well and very expressive in nature. So how do we bring in those who are more introvert and less extrovert in nature? How do we bring those voices up and allow for inclusive and diverse equation to emerge in the space? One, as we stated, really being present with ourselves and saying, am I feeling drifted? To pause and reflect, asking oneself, am I feeling drifted, or am I seeing myself favoring one opinion? And then reflecting and journaling helps in refraining from such instances again and again as a pattern. Also having a contract in the team, having somebody like we had another acronym called ELMO. ELMO in the sense is enough, let's move on. In corporates that is being used, ELMO. So if one person is taking the spotlight, in the contracting phase, we had one volunteer who was in charge of ELMO. He or she would just raise their hand and say ELMO, and we would know, okay, it is time to move on. Enough, let's move on. So having some bit of contracting in place and then recontracting. Are we going, are we being in track? Are we being in touch with our objective that we are here to meet? Also having, sometimes when a topic is really charged up with emotions, then having a process called CIA, control, influence, accept. It could be one person, it could be two people in the team, right? And there can be multiple emotions emerging for them. So to help them acknowledge that, park them on the CIA wall, saying that write the topic and then just reflect in the break time. What can we control? What is it that we need to influence? What do we need to accept? And also pushing the pause button and asking the team, is it relevant for everyone? Or is it just one person's view? Does it require one-on-one conversation, or does it require group style? If it is aligned to the objective for everyone, probably they are sharing the voice for they are being the voice for everyone on behalf of everyone. Then it probably is a mutual consensus that we ask everyone and establish that. Right? So that's the answer, long and short answer to your first question. Second one, that I assumed how one person's emotion can probably hijack or can flow into or cascade into the whole group or team. That's very much possible as well, because emotions don't stay on an island. They are contagious, right? There is an emotional contagion that will happen. So how do you, one, stay centered, breathe in, pause, reflect very quickly, and having a co-coach really helps there, that they can intervene. And just bringing the polarity in the room, helping them face the fears that they have, and just helping them label what emotion are they experiencing. Let's just pause. Can we label the emotion we all are experiencing, or we are seeing, we are sensing that are coming to us? And then what is under that emotion? The same value, assumption, belief, work that we can do under the feeling. What's behind this feeling that we need to learn from? What is that? What is the message in the mess that probably is popularizing, that we can start to explore? And then there is new awareness, because emotions will bring new messages. So tapping onto the emotions and not letting them just go, recognizing, acknowledging them, helping them regulate and express it in a way that's safe enough for everyone as well. Yeah.
Good.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this was second part was little complex for me. We can connect.
We can chat one-on-one. Yes, yeah. Being in Delhi, we have the luxury.
This is complex. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. The second question came from: would like to understand how to create a measure of success for the team for a large group. This is from Devashi Chakravarti.
Okay. When you say team for a large group, are you saying group of companies, team of a large group? Is that what you mean, Devashi? Can you unmute yourself and ask?
Devashi, are you there?
I think she could have dropped.
She would have dropped.
Yeah, but we can certainly look at the measure of success for the team's organizational objective that we are contracting for, vis-a-vis the components that, matrices that speak into those objectives, like probably project effectiveness, right? Probably customer satisfaction survey, employee satisfaction survey, probably achieving whatever, the retention of their team, etc. So different matrices can be measured at the end, mid, and the beginning. And we can also do an emotional intelligence or team accelerator survey, team performance accelerator survey, to find out, quantify, and qualify a couple of matrices to measure before and after. So there can be various assessments. There can be bespoke assessments based on the stakeholder intakes that we do, what needs shift, and we can do various evaluations based on that.
Thank you, Deep. So while, there are two more questions which have come up, can we answer?
Yeah.
We can take 5 minutes to answer because still people are there. Deep, what challenges in general you face in team coaching? Asked by Sanjeev Bhatia.
Thank you for that question. Sanjeev, sir, I think the biggest challenge that was posed to me was when the CEO hired us, one of the teams I'm referring to, when the CEO hired us to bring in the we culture culture of ownership and accountability. Bring in the we culture. This was his ask. And in his actions, the role modeling was happening from a me sense, you know. So I have done this for last 20 years. I have brought in this. I have. So the whole leadership team was bargaied in the process of him communicating. I have. So I had to stop and pause and reflect on what's going on in the room. And then in front of the whole group, because I did have the trust and rapport with the CEO, I could actually hold courage to challenge a bit and say, can we push the pause button? I'm hearing a lot of I, and what are we here for? Then there was a lot of reflection and there was silence. And it happened so that there was a breakthrough for the CEO and the whole group. So thereafter, it was a different equation altogether. There was acknowledgement, but there was storming that happened. Even after the team coaching session was over, I was informed there was storming that happened in the team. And that's okay, that's settled down because we had brought in a lot of perceptual positions, who's thinking what, etc., and a SWOT analysis. So this can be challenging when the sponsor wants something and is not aligned. So you really need to check in and not let the power dynamics come into play. That was challenging, yet probably was easily, not easily, but yeah, with grit and gravitas will say true, I would say. Yeah.
So just last one question. Many a time leader in the group sway the conversation to drive specific agenda. How does that one handle that? And do we course correct in the middle?
I think the answer that I gave.
Karan.
Yeah. Yes, Sagarika. I think the answer that I just gave towards the challenge that I faced in team coaching, probably it fits in well for this. But yeah, there can be midterm course correction. There can be course corrections all the way, reiterations all the way through. So we got to be agile throughout. Yes, I think Rohit is raising hands, Sagarika.
Yeah, Rohit.
Hi, Deep. Thank you so much. Lovely session. Just a quick question. It's a little juvenile question because I think it's very common and maybe, but still, asking in a situation where there is a group of senior executives and they, there is a certain thing that's being discussed and they come back to you and say, what would you do in a situation like this? So how do you as a coach handle that wherein you can't really, do you just say, I'll take off my coaching hat for a moment and share your view? Or how do you handle that situation?
Beautiful question, Rohit. Not at all juvenile. I think we all face this challenge as coaches, right? All the time, individual or team or group coaching. So what we at TPC Leadership support our coaches with is a process called creative mentors. In creative mentors, you actually offer an empty chair. You invite them to bring an empty chair and someone they look up to in the industry. Let's say we're talking about a team. Someone they look up to in the industry to position them on that chair, right? And they can have that conversation and the moment of dialogue with that mentor, right? And then they can be multiple mentors. They can be 2, 3, team setup. They can be multiple mentors. And they keep having these dialogue at the end of the conversation. You can invite them to write down the insights that have emerged from the imaginary mentors, creative mentors in the room. So that really helps. It's like their, I would call it creative board of director group that you're bringing in. Right.
So dialogue, sorry, just to understand correctly, you're saying the dialogue is such that they imagine that these people are sitting there and what is the dialogue that they would be having and what would they say in that situation?
Right. They really need to imagine and embody the mentor, how they look, how they walk, how they talk, how have they spoken with them earlier. So they really see them and start to subconsciously get that liminal messages from that space that you co-create with them. Yeah.
Thank you so much. There's this one question that I usually ask. This is for individual coaching that, if you are in a situation like this and you ask a wise person, what would that wise person do in that?
Exactly. So the wise person chair or wise person questioning, exactly. And then once they bring in, exactly, Rohit. So once they bring in the mentor, they also sit on their place and then they advise back, right?
Got it.
Advise back to their previous selves.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks, Rohit, for the question. Very enlightening. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Deep. There is one question, but maybe Praveen, you can ask her directly. You can get in touch with her, or if you have time, you could just. This is the last question that we are taking. How do you encourage people to build ambivalent mind, ability to handle both positive and negative emotions?
Yeah, by self-work. Praveen sir, by self-work, by living in the polarity and being okay with the polarity, by being okay with all the emotions, because they all carry they are the carriers of various messages that are important for us to listen, right? Being okay with the sensation in our bodies when we experience both and to acknowledge them. I call it being a rare coach who is able to recognize the emotions, acknowledge the emotions, and then enabling others and themselves to regulate and express rare coaching. So nothing is negative. It is our connotation towards the emotion that's negative. It's really just energy in motion, right? So are we tapping into the energy which is in motion that's making me do, feel, be different? And how is that sharing some message for me and for the group, because that's relevant and that's why it's emerging. So allowing that to emerge, allowing that for yourself to hold that as well.
Space.
Yeah, hold that space.
Let me just give you one example, just 1 minute.
Yes.
Say example of this could be, I'm angry with my friend and I accept him as he is. I think this is what you are saying.
Yeah, there is anger and there is acceptance.
Yes,
right.
I got it now.
Yes,
thank you.
This is a common theme in EFT. You know, that's what you say. Even though this is going wrong, I still accept the way I am and I accept the person the way he is.
I am I, you are you.
Yeah.
Kavita will share the whole prayer principles.
Excellent.
Samadhita.
Thank you.
I think Kaval has been, let's just be, hear from him.
Well, I have forgotten why I was raising the hand, but I just wanted to comment on whether it's a positive or negative emotion, though Deep, you mentioned it so beautifully. So for me, any emotion which I want to experience again and again. So that is one kind of emotion, set of emotions. And there are emotions which I don't want to experience again. So that is probably, I would not use that as a negative, but I don't want to go to that space again. How do I really manage it?
Yeah.
Either using this, normally I use whenever my needs are met, as Marshall Rosenberg from NBC says, when my needs are met, I experience those emotions which I want to experience again. Yeah. And not met, I don't want to get to that space. So let me decide on what is my strategy to meet my needs.
Wow. That's also talking about the choices that you can bring up on the table. Okay. How do we want to be spiral down by experiencing this, or spiral up, depending upon where do you want to go? Probably the need is to spiral down and really investigate. What is the need? Let's stay here. And that's with the consensus of the team. And then spiral. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deep, for stretching, more than 15 minutes and graciously answering all the questions that came up. Thank you so much. Over to you, Kavita.
Yes, and thank you so much, Sagarika and Nandini, for making sure that the CCU form link was shared, the feedback poll was taken, and for clicking pictures, everything, like we managed it right in time. So thank you, Nandini, for that. and for your support. So thank you, Deep, yet again for being so generous about holding space, talking to us about holding space, and more importantly, holding the space. And when I read all the comments, I mean, I don't have to say this. Everyone out there has, said it out aloud that what a fantastic session this was. Brilliant, most interactive. It felt that, we were all part of this thing. No one felt that, you're outside and you're just listening in. So beautifully done. A big, big, big thank you. Please accept our gratitude from ICF Mumbai Charter Chapter, Sago and me and Nandini here. And we also have Tushima who has joined. She is the president of Mumbai Charter Chapter. She's also here. Yes, there she is. So please, yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here and for staying back. And it just speaks about your curiosity. And let's stay open and be curious. We're going to have many more sessions coming your way. We are planning every 3 months to bring master speakers from across the world, where we are able to bring the best of team and group coaching insights and wisdoms for all you lovely coaches. Yeah, and that's what Sagurka and myself are making sure.
Yes. Awesome. I'm truly humbled and very generous of you all to hold this space for me as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nandini. Thanks, Tushima, and everybody.